A pleasant morning, everyone. I welcome you all to the day one of the International Conference on Research, Innovations and Challenges, created and powered by Center for Research and Training, National Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. As we march forward towards our academic and professional endeavors with great hopes and aspirations, let us invoke blessings of the Almighty in this auspicious occasion to be highly successful in all our ventures. I now request the elite gathering to rise for the prayer song. Thank you, everyone. As per the quote of the chairman NFED, Professor Dr. R. Ganesan, the greatness of any research work is only through its wider applicability. In adherence to this proverb, NFED has been into efficacious journey for more than 20 years. The prime objective of NFED is to create entrepreneurial cult across the globe. To fulfill this objective, NFED has taken great strides and initiatives through its tentacles like research and development, entrepreneurship training and development, mentoring, facilitating, publishing, and creating social sensation awards and recognitions. NFED has created enormous impact in the academic world, wherein its core strength over decades is based on 5 dimensions, namely intellectual knowledge dissemination, quality-centric deliverance, consensus efforts, impeccable initiatives, and time-centric execution. NFED strongly believes that if these 5 dimensions are not tightly integrated with appropriate, strong tie networking, then even the greatest organization's efforts become ineffective. NFED's conferences have been exemplary and highly remarkable since its inception in 2015 because of its core values and the aforementioned 5-dimensional approach. This international conference gains importance by having eminent keynote speakers across the globe, which includes underdeveloped, developing, and developed countries respectively on all the 3 days. Also, it comprises knowledgeable session chairs for the 3 tracks, namely the Science, Engineering, and Technology track SET, the Management, Entrepreneurship, and Innovation track MEI, and the Arts and Humanities track AHU. Also, this conference has been well received by the research community and academic fraternity, despite its online mode, which is proved through a variety of papers across various disciplines. We have received 142 paper presentations and over 100 abstract proceedings, which is a landmark accomplishment. And these paper presentations and abstracts are from scholars, researchers, students, and entrepreneurs across 4 countries, including 21 states and 4 union territories of India. So this itself speaks about NFED's research through its exuberant efforts across the nation. And I'm sure this international conference will provide you with a lot of research insights and knowledge exchanges. And I wish you all to gain fullest benefits through scholarly deliberations in this 3-day international conference. With this brief note, on behalf of the Presidium of NFED, I heartily welcome our Honorable Conference Chair and Chief Patron, Karmavir Jyoti, Professor Dr. R. Ganesan, Founder and Chairman of NFED, Conference Convener, Dr. R. Rajeshwari, Conference Co-Conveners, Dr. V. Sunita, Professor, Department of Geology, Yogi Vemna University, Kadapa, Andhra Pradesh, Dr. Kiran Lata Dangwal, Associate Professor, Department of Education, University of Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh, Dr. Isha Jain, Professor at IILM University, Gurugram, Haryana, and Dr. Clarice Mostar, Program Leader of Business Management and Senior Lecturer, School of Management Studies, Northwest University, South Africa. And I express my warm welcome to our Honorable International Keynote Speakers of today, Dr. Nazrul Islam, Pro Vice Chancellor and Professor and Dean, Faculty of Business, Northern University of Bangladesh, Dhaka in Bangladesh, Ms. Miral Tulikima, Founder and Managing Director of MT Energy Resources Limited, Australia, and STEM Queens, Uganda. I extend my profound welcome to our today's Honorable National Keynote Speakers, Professor Dr. Dinesh Awasthi, Vice Chancellor of LJ University, Ahmedabad, Gujarat, and Dr. Vandana Gupta, Professor and Deputy Registrar at Chitkara Design School, Chitkara University, Punjab. I also heartily welcome all the organizing secretaries, organizing committee members, distinguished session chairs, paper presenters, and participants to this three-day international conference on research, innovations, and challenges. I once again cordially welcome you all and wish you great success in your academic and professional endeavors. And now let me take this opportunity to introduce National Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development to this elite gathering. NFED is a unique organization which is predominantly into promulgating entrepreneurship cult across the nation. It is driving and thriving on socialistic notion with righteous academicians, corporate citizens, and entrepreneurs in its fold. NFED was established as a virtual organization in 2003 and registered as a full-fledged trust in 2013 with its headquarters at Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. It primarily aims in creating enterprising communities at large in schools, colleges, and universities through its training and development activities, faculty development programs on research and publications, and entrepreneurship development workshops, national and international conferences, and seminars. In furtherance to serve the communities, NFED has instituted 2 units in 2015, namely the Center for Research and Training, a growth action unit of NFED, and NFED Business Facilitators Forum, a strategic action unit. It is through the Center for Research and Training and NFED Business Facilitators Forum, numerous programs have been instituted towards promulgating research publications, career development, entrepreneurship development, employability skills, women empowerment, etc. And NFED frequently engages in research and development activities by publishing research articles, conference proceedings, book chapters, and edited books on holistic research, which congregates the disciplines like engineering, technology, sciences, management, arts, and humanities. And today's international conference gains momentum with regard to research integration and knowledge sharing in the context of contemporary research contributions towards holistic global restructuring, which has been incidentally the theme of this conference. The reality of conducting any research is to impart wisdom and growth in the society. The research contributions in the past have witnessed only interim growth and societal development. And this situation continues due to unidisciplinary focus, wherein lack of integration of research across various disciplines remains untapped in many areas. The current global scenario is ever-changing and demanding, wherein the sustenance and livelihood will be more challenging in the ensuing years. Furthermore, the knowledge sharing through congregation of research across interdisciplines and multidisciplines for upbringing the overall socioeconomic development and progression is quite indispensable. And today's globalization has nurtured the advancements in science and technology, entrepreneurial innovations, ergonomic practices, etc., due to IT interventions and digitalization. And this has triggered the new gamut in the research arena. And it needs to address the upcoming trends in all sectors towards bringing a holistic development. And hence, there is a need to gauge the overall requirements of mankind in terms of achieving socio-economic sustenance and global stability. And keeping these above-mentioned aspects in view, the international conference intends to focus on the paradigms of research innovations in the disciplines of science, engineering, technology, entrepreneurship, management, arts, humanities, and other interdisciplines to have wider knowledge integration. Also to envisage the future challenges through a radical approach for the betterment of mankind. The conference has been officially coined by the conference chair and chief patron as International Conference on Research, Innovations and Challenges to garner the interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary research contributions across the nation and globe for enhancing knowledge exchange and transformation. And this in turn will bring in a phenomenal development at all levels to meet the future challenges. And I'm sure you all will be benefited at large. And with this note, I now extend my hearty welcome to our Honorable Conference Chair and Chairman of NFED, Karmavir Jyoti, Professor Dr. R. Ganesan. Professor Ganesan earned his doctorate from the reputed IIT Delhi with a special focus on entrepreneurship development. He possesses more than 2 decades of research experience in the field of entrepreneurship and management. He has served in different academia ranging from deemed universities, engineering colleges, arts and science colleges, B schools, and international universities. He has more than 70 research contributions to his credit, which are published in refereed and indexed journals, books, book chapters, monographs, and conferences. He is a global author in women entrepreneurship whose research papers are listed in Google Scholar and indexed in ASI, ESCI, MLA citations, Scopus, EBSCO, Kebbles Directory, etc. And he has authored 2 books in women entrepreneurship development and insurance management, which have been published at Germany, and has published over 24 edited books. He is serving as editorial member and reviewer for numerous journals and possesses more than 20 years of editorial experience. He has edited more than 680 research articles and chapters to his credit, which includes his editorial experience across refereed and indexed journals, conferences and book chapters at national and international levels. He has organized and hosted 3 national conferences, 5 international conferences, 4 international seminars, and has conducted 45 faculty development programs. He has delivered more than 225 national and international sessions on research and development, entrepreneurship development, managerial skills, career development, self-management, design thinking, employability skills, digital marketing, etc., and has inaugurated many entrepreneurship development cells across the nation. He is the chief mentor for certification programs on e-entrepreneurship, as well as innovation and creativity for business. He has a deep inclination towards upbringing social sensation across the communities and has hosted and organized 32 national award ceremonies for recognizing national and global talents. Also, he has exorbitant interest in Tamil literature, wherein he has written and published Agakurals, The Voice of Self, for civility, and a few traditional poetries for societal transformation. In commemorating his laudable academic research and societal transformation services through upbringing entrepreneurship development, he has been conferred with the prestigious title Karmavir Jyoti by Indian Confederation of Non-Governmental Organizations, ICONGO, New Delhi, on 22nd March 2015. He is bestowed with the coveted Lifetime Achievement Award, Researcher and Scholar Icon 2017 by Jupiter Publications Consortium in association with Ingenious Hybronics Private Limited, Chennai. He is a recipient of PFLA Excellence Award for his outstanding service to education and entrepreneurs community from People First Leadership Academy in Bangalore 2019. And he has been conferred with Order of Eminence, the highest honor for his global contribution to research, teaching, and training in entrepreneurship development by the Presidium of NFED in his 10th National Teachers' Day Awards on 5th September 2019 at Coimbatore. And he has been conferred with the prestigious MTC Global Distinguished Teacher Award in Entrepreneurship Development in the 9th World Edu Summit organized by Management Teachers Consortium Global in 2019 at Bangalore. And also he is a recipient of prestigious Pride of India Award by South Asian Institute for Advanced Research and Development in Kolkata, West Bengal on 16th October 2022. He is the founder, chairman, and presidium chair of the renowned National Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development. And he is also the founder and chair of NFED Business Facilitators Forum and Center for Research and Training, as well as NFED Publications under the ambit of NFED. He is one of the board of directors at Unalma Solutions Private Limited, Bangalore, and founder and CEO of Technovate Educational and Consulting Services, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. With this note, I now invite our Honorable Conference Chair, Karmavir Jyoti, Professor Dr. R. Ganesan, to deliver the inaugural address.
Good morning to all of you, and thanks for the introduction by the conference director and all the international keynote speakers and national keynote speakers, particularly one of my mentors, while as my EDI dies, Professor Dinesh Avasthy, Vice Chancellor here, and thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor. So all the dignified session chairs, and all the national and international participants of today's conference. And I welcome you all. Well, if we talk about this, the theme of the conference, talking more about the research innovation and its contributions towards holistic changes and challenges. Especially when I talk about research, we are all very serious about the research. We are all true researchers. That's how I feel. And I hope that a lot of people will agree with this. How the research goes on, if you talk about a research process itself, it is an inquiry what you have to make to oneself and to go about it. That talks about the research emancipation. In fact, we talk about the theme, it's research emancipation, that is extension and adding on views and building your base. Those things happen on the emancipation process. That is basically with the research inquiry, what you make to your own self when you choose a problem. This is in general, if we talk about a research as a definition or to follow up with the research activity of any scholar or any researcher across the globe. But generally, if you talk about a research, how the research goes on, research by itself is a discipline. Research needs a discipline. That's what we feel. Research itself is a discipline of research. You can say many of the universities do have this applied research as a department, Center for Applied Research or Applied Department of Applied Research, or all the departments in many of the universities, even in IITs and all. But in general, the research needs a discipline to be followed. That is what I have learned from my mentors and all, like Professor Dinesh Avasti when I was there in the EDI, where under the CREED fellowship and for 44 days. There, I have been taught how to do a research properly. I can say I would say EDI here because that was the eye opener for my PhD when I was doing my PhD at IIT Delhi. So that time, Professor Avasti was my one of my mentors, and the research intuition how they give, they only brief the things how to go about it, and you have to do the work, and you have to show the progress. So the progress goes on like this. In fact, I can say after a long time, even I can invite my mentor to be one of the keynote speakers. So over the years, he is also watching what I am doing and what sort of research I am practicing for a very long time. And that is why he has very agreed to, okay, I'll come as one of the keynote speakers. Otherwise, it's not possible. So the question comes on here now, as I told earlier, research is a discipline which is required for all the disciplines to proceed further, to have the innovations, to have the deliberations, to have the contributions to the society. But research itself needs a discipline to be followed. Discipline, I mean to say, the yardstick of how to go about it. What sort of practices you have to do for becoming a best researcher or a good researcher, whatever you call. I don't want to add adjectives. I wanted to be a true researcher. I can put it like this. So the true researcher always follows a discipline, and that discipline goes on with something called dedicated devotion. There are two things for the research. That is, one is a dedication, what you have to do, and the devotion of the work, what you have to practice. So both the things are very important, because I am seeing the conference is kept on the genre of the research, innovation, and challenges, basically to integrate the contribution of the different disciplines and to see whether these disciplines are all contributing properly under the research as a discipline itself. So whether they are all doing a disciplined research or not. This is the argument today. The problem is, you all know the problem also, that research today goes on with the momentum of records. Records will not always talk about what you do or what you do anything great in your life, but how many people follow it. That is very important. So my proverb goes on here. It goes on very appropriate in this place. Is greatness of the research work is only through its wider applicability. This is my proverb. I even practice till today. So greatness of the any research work, whatever the great work, what you do, so it's totally rely upon the wider applicability. How many people are following your research work, whether you good, better, best, or the great researcher on whatever you say. It is a true research what you have done whilst your days of research, and that research talks about a long time. So if you talk about my research, I have published a paper on women entrepreneurship problems and prospects. That is the first paper in the Sage publications. The journal is by the EDI, Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, one of the prestigious institutions in the India and abroad also, I can say. They have a lot of wings across the world. At that time of publication, the publication took around 6 months, and it is a half-yearly journal at the time. Now it is in the Web of Science also. Question is, when I publish the paper, till today I am getting a citation. That happened in 2002. I can remember the time also, 2002. Until today, it's 20 long years passed by. Till today, I am getting a citation. That means some work you have done enormously, extremely good, and you're keeping up the good work for a long time. That is why it has been called upon the people's mind, and they are doing this work and citing this work. So this is one example. I don't want to give other example with some other person because whom I know or don't know, but that will become a problem to hear. But let me give my own examples that is better for everybody. So second thing is that we talk about devotion. How long time you are sticking on to the quality of the research, the quality centrism aspects of the research. The problem is the research goes on with something called the features. The four features of the research which I found over years is one is to talk about cost effectiveness, cost effective aspects and affordability by the people. The research should go on like this. The second is ergonomic perspectives, that is human friendly ergonomic perspectives. The third one is holistic benefits at large. What are the holistic benefits, integrated benefits one can get out of doing a research to the society and to others and to the peer groups, whatever you call. The last one is socioeconomic development avenues. How many avenues it is opening up for upbringing the socioeconomic development of any nation or across the globe. So these four features always governs the research. We talk about any research, whatever you do, the four pillars of the research talks about, or four features of the research talks about these four aspects. So, but what I'm saying, why I'm conducting these sort of conferences in NFED, because NFED is institution of learning, always it organization of higher learning. We always give the social learning. We know what to do and what sort of things can be applied in the society. So we keep the research as a first and foremost aspect and pillar of NFED to grow ourselves and also to learn and grow ourselves both the ways. Growing is one thing for any organization, and learning and growing what is happening across the society, what sort of a transition is going on, what sort of a global transformation is happening. To talk today in the post pandemic, digital transformation has been taking place enormously. The digital transformation is so enormous that one has to be aware about all the things. Even to this conference what we are keeping, for very many times we have done the conference, the digital awareness only makes us to keep the conference online. If the person who is doing this conference is not aware of the digital skills, how can he or she can conduct the conference? There are so many conferences you can see the power is not there, the person is not there, they cannot connect the gadgets. There are so many discomforts here and there, but we don't want to do those things. We have learned so many things what's happening. So as a organization of complete learning or continuous learning, so the digital conference is going on in a with big vibes across the globe, because everybody can sit here in this conference. If you conduct a live conference, it's not possible because of this post-pandemic. Even people are having the aversion of traveling and to come over there. So that is a learning process. That is again a research actually. How many times I have done this conference? How many times I'm periodically wanted to do this sort of a conference, and those many times I'm creating something called impact that makes people to join this conference. Very simple as that. So the second question, the second aspect of the research, what we are all doing is on again a principle is there. So whatever the invention is made is made. So whatever we are doing today, acting upon it, we are only acting upon it on the innovation side. So the research should also be innovative. As I told you earlier, research is to be a discipline. It should be discipline centric work what you're doing. Next one is innovation centric. It should be innovative centric to all the times. So how many scholars are all instilling the conference or performing the aspects of this research on innovative centric platform? Those are the researchers which are always regarded across the globe. Not by having the volume of publications in the index journals. Even if you do 5 journals across, even you can do 10 journals across, that talks about you for a long time. So the research is talking more about this. So what sort of a research are going on today? So that again goes on with the principle of mine again. That is, on an inventive plane, innovation tends to infinity. So on an inventive plane, research as a base, as a source, as an invention means, on the innovative plane, this on an inventive plane, innovation tends to infinity. There is no end for the innovation at all. So that means what? The research is a continuous process and is a long-term process, and no one can stop it. It is ever existing and never ending. We can say like this. So these are all the things which is governing the entire globe, one has to be serious. That is what I wanted to say to this all the researchers today who are all joined in this conference, who are all with us, to be very serious in the research. Because the problem is when you do some mistake, minor mistakes, that will be referred by so many people, and that becomes a chain of mistakes. So that's what, when you even put a citation, when you write a paper, when you write a text, write a report, write a monograph, write any document which is to be recorded and researched, whichever you do, but has to be very careful. So what we are feeling is that we want to be very serious, and even we can see that some of the people are not serious. So the question is, seriousness is to be instilled inside the minds of people to do a quality research, as per the discipline. I can say as per the discipline. And this research goes on with many of the people across. Whatever you do today is going to be the record for tomorrow, and people are going to follow your shoes. And so you have to be very careful. But if you talk about the global research transitions now, the global research goes on with so many transitions. One particular sector I can address here, because there are so many speakers to talk. One is the energy sector. The energy sector goes on with like anything. Energy management sector, we can put it very more precisely. Energy management sector is going surmounting like anything for consumption of the natural fuels and going for alternative fuels. So those things are all going on as a research, and that we have got so many papers on the on that grounds also, like electronic vehicles. You talk about solar energy applications, so many things like wind energy applications. So many things have been coming up. So those sectors are all going very vibrant. And talk about innovation, those sectors are to be concentrating more on the innovation side, and there are researches going on. Even we have got some papers in those lines. So that is, conservation of energy is very, very important, and innovation goes on very parallel with the sort of a convention. And there are global transformation is happening, global learning is also there, global people are all understanding that what will be the future of another 20 years. So that's why they're concentrating on the sector. But this sector will be the base sector for all other sectors. When you do any innovation, most of the sectors will be on service side and the production side, manufacturing production side. In the manufacturing production side, for even the service side to exist, the energy management is to be taken care of very seriously. Because whatever the conference, what we're doing now, maybe we are doing now with the electricity and other things, your power backup and all. But in future, how it will happen? What sort of energy transformation will happen to support this sort of endeavors across the globe? So I think that will be a aspect to be tapped, and it is still going on, and that sector will be more innovative than other sectors, I feel, according to me. So, and there are so many things like electronic cars have come, flying cars have come. We can talk about we can talk about Jana Ring project by Shimsu Corporation on bringing the power from moon to power Earth. So many things are going on across the globe, and that is the project by 2035 by Japan. So likewise, there are so many innovations going on. So at the closing note, I want to say, you be serious in the research what you do, and that research will govern you for the entire life. So active research, and it's nothing called a passive research. Actually, every research is active only. But what happens when you are young? We are all doing the research very seriously. But when you're becoming a little growing old, or becoming higher, holding the positions, and we become somewhat subtle. That's what I feel. So that is not the quality of a researcher. Researcher cannot be subtle at any point of time. Always the social sensation and seriousness will be there with all the researchers. And I hope this conference will give a transformation and transition to all the minds across the globe. And I once again thank all the keynote speakers for their distinguished presence. And I congratulate all the participants who are going to present the paper today, and wish you all success. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you so much for your thought-provoking address.
Can you say the conference convener is there to talk about?
Conference convener, Dr.
Yes,
Rajeshwari.
yes, she's present.
No, she's not connected to audio, sir.
Okay, fine.
Madam, good morning.
She's there.
Madam, good morning.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning, good morning. Go ahead, go ahead.
Your video is not available, madam.
One second, ma'am.
You can take the photograph immediately, because some speakers have to leave. So you please take the photographs, conference director.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you taken the photograph?
No, madam's video is not available.
It's okay. You can take the keynote speakers.
Okay. Yes, I request all the keynote speakers, co-conveners, convener. Kindly switch on your video so that I can take a group screenshot. Just give me a moment.
Yeah. I think Rajeshwari is also there.
Yes, madam is there. Dr. Sunita. Yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, Dr. Rajeshwari can proceed. If you want, you can introduce.
Sure. Yeah, let me now introduce our conference convener, Professor Dr. Rajeshwari, to the gathering. Dr. Rajeshwari is an esteemed professor in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering for the past 15 years at the reputed Government College of Technology, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. She has completed her UG in EEE and PG in Power Systems Engineering from Tyagarajar College of Engineering, Madurai, and earned her PhD in Power System Engineering from Anna University, Chennai. She has gained 24 years of experience in the field of teaching through service of government institutions. Her expertise does not limit to teaching, as she has successfully published over 80 international and national journals on various topics covering the vastness of electrical and electronics engineering. Her areas of interest extend from power systems to soft computing techniques. She has extended the knowledge as a guest lecturer to over 50 plus esteemed institutions. She is also a Board of Studies member for numerous institutions housing EEE and member of internationally recognized societies such as IST and IEEE. She is also the recipient of the coveted Senior Educator and Scholar Award on 5th September 2019 in the 8th National Teachers Day Awards from National Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development. I now invite our distinguished conference convener, Professor Dr. Rajeshwari. Kindly unmute yourself, ma'am.
Unmute yourself, please.
You need to click on the unmute button, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So, as a conference convener, I would like to welcome all the organizing secretaries, organizing committee members, distinguished session chairs, paper presenters, and participants to this 3-day international conference on research, innovations, and challenges. I extend my profound welcome to our today's honorable national keynote speaker, Dinesh Awasthi, Dr. Dinesh Awasthi, sir, Vice Chancellor, LJ University, Ahmedabad, Gujarat, and Dr. Vandana Gupta, Professor and Deputy Registrar, Chitkara Design School, Chitkara University, Punjab. So I once again cordially welcome you all and wish you a great success in your academic and professional endeavors. Thank you, sir. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much. It's my immense privilege to welcome our honorable keynote speaker for today, Dr. Nazrul Islam, and introduce to this elite gathering. Dr. Nazrul Islam is a professor of management and international business. He has served at various universities like East West University, State University of Bangladesh, Eastern University, Uttara University, and Canadian University of Bangladesh. He has published over 65 research articles in international refereed journals that were abstracted and indexed by Scopus, ABDC, EBSCO, ProQuest, ESJI, and Crossref. Professor Islam has also published 30 research papers in different journals and has attended more than 20 international conferences held in India, Nepal, Maldives, Hong Kong, South Korea, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, USA, and Australia. As a panel reviewer of South Asian Quality Assurance System, Professor Islam has reviewed ICRIC Business School of India for its accreditation. He is also serving as editorial board member for a number of national and international journals like International Journal of Management and Business, British Journal of Economics, Management and Trade, etc. Professor Islam has been honored with Bangladesh Education Leadership Award 2017 and Educational Leadership Award in 2018 in the category of Best Professor in Business Administration by CMO Asia. He is currently serving as Pro Vice Chancellor and Professor and Dean of Faculty of Business at Northern University, Bangladesh. I now invite our Honorable Speaker, Professor Dr. Nazrul Islam, to deliver the keynote address.
Thank you very much. Distinguished conference chair and chief patron of International Conference on Research Innovations and Challenges, KVJ Professor Dr. R. Ganesan, Honorable Conference Director, Mrs. Ramaya Kandavel, respected conference convener, Dr. R. Rajeshwari, esteemed keynote speakers, Professor Dr. Dinesh N. Ashwati, Vice Chancellor, LJ University Ahmedabad, Gujarat, India, Ms. Mireli Tulekima, Founder and Managing Director, MT Energy Resources Limited, Australia, Dr. Vandana Gupta, Professor and Deputy Registrar, Chitkara Design School, Chitkara, Punjab, India. Distinguished participants from different parts of the world, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to everyone. I am very much delighted to be here today and really excited to see a large number of professors, industry experts, and research scholars in this fabulous international conference on research innovations and challenges, ICRIC 2023. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor for me to deliver a keynote speech at this very important conference on ICRIC 2023, organized by Center for Research and Training of National Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development, Coimbatore, India. I wish to extend my deep appreciation to Professor Dr. R. Ganesan, Chair and Chief Patron of this conference, for inviting me to share my thoughts on entrepreneurship and innovation for sustainable development in developing countries. I thank and welcome the participants of this conference who will share their knowledge and experience with their colleagues and will ensure an outcome that is grounded in the concrete realities for the entrepreneurship and innovation for sustainable development of the economies of developing countries of the world. Dear colleagues, let me first start with a brief report on the resources used by the world community. I then like to discuss how the innovation and entrepreneurship have influenced the sustainable development of economies of the developing countries. The overall objective of sustainable development is to find an optimal interaction of economic, human, environmental, and technological systems. I hope there will be an elaboration of this issue further during the panel discussions following this keynote speech. Dear participants, the economic growth of a country often depends on a number of factors, such as availability of natural resources, rate of capital formation, favorable capital output ratio, technological progress, dynamic entrepreneurship, rate of growth of population, and conditions of social overheads like education, health, and various non-economic factors. In 1960s, Catalan Busser found and said that 7% of all populations live in USA and they enjoy 43% world's wealth, while 55% populations live in Asia, enjoy only 16% resources of the world. At present, now, just 5% of the world's population live in USA, consumes 23% of its energy. That is really wasteful. Imagine if you waste 5 times more gasoline, or 5 times more food, or produced 5 times more garbage, your neighbors wouldn't be very happy. Yet, that is what we are doing. The difference is mainly because of the ownership of natural resources. However, these resources are not unique for certain countries only, but its existence cannot accelerate the economic growth without the innovation and the development of entrepreneurship. In literature, we see a neglected role of entrepreneurs as innovators in developing countries. Joseph Schumpeter pointed out, we know that a century ago, that entrepreneurs are often innovators. They bring new goods and technologies to markets. They open up new markets, processes, and ideas, and also commercializes the new knowledge. However, it is often mistakenly suggested that innovation by entrepreneurs is less important for growth in low-income developing countries than in more advanced countries. But the economic growth of a country in reality not only depends on the natural resources, but also on the effective use of those resources, and that is entrepreneurship. Whether developing countries are able to profit from the advantages of technological backwardness clearly depends on their social and absorptive capabilities. Therefore, for developing countries, innovation does not only refer to the development of new products or new processes or the use of new technologies, but also refer to the capacity to creatively absorb the technologies. Experts opine that the working economic assets of a society not only depends on the natural resources, but also upon the effectiveness with which resources are converted into energy or production capacity on goods, and even upon the use which is made economic productivity. This value addition needs innovative human resources. They are the ones who convert resources into economic productivity with the help of their knowledge, experience, initiative are the entrepreneurs in any country of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, the first stand of research on entrepreneurship recognized that not all opportunity exploitation would necessarily be in society's best interest. Entrepreneurs are persons who are resourceful and creative in finding the ways that also add to their own wealth, power, and prestige. Entrepreneurial talents cannot be allocated in ways that sometimes may slow down the economic development. This conception of entrepreneurship is broader than that of entrepreneurs who run their own businesses. It also includes managers of the multinational firms, state enterprises, non-profit organizations, and a variety of dynamic entrepreneurs within the organizations. The second strand of research focuses on the firm as the key economic actor. The firms include owner-operated firms, incorporated joint stock companies, state-owned companies, joint ventures, and subsidiaries of multinationals. These all firms are the units that make the key decisions on investment, or on branching into new activities, or relocating to other countries. And the third research tradition deals with an important subset of firms, such as owner-operated enterprises. This entrepreneur is the one who is both owner and actively involved in running his or her own businesses. Therefore, the development of entrepreneurship proved to be a critical resource and is an important factor in economic growth of any country. There is a paramount importance of this segment in a developing economy for the generation of employment and increase of productivity. Hence, renowned psychologist, we know Abraham Merrill Maslow said the most valuable 100 people to bring into deteriorating society would not be the economists or politicians or engineers, but rather 100 entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship development is the prerequisite for sustainable development of a country, of an economy. A society may have people who have knowledge, experience, money, management capability, etc. But if they do not have the motivation to initiate new ventures, these resources will not create any value for the society. Therefore, the development of entrepreneurship requires cooperation in stimulatory, supporting, and sustaining activities by the policymakers and the incubator organizations. Dear colleagues, although research at the intersection of the fields entrepreneurship, innovation, and economic development is still in infancy, we need to address all these three issues, such as stimulatory, supporting, and sustaining activities together to achieve sustainable development of a country. In today's world, with all its social, economic, and environmental challenges, knowledge is the primary source of innovation and sustainable value and wealth creation of the country. We need creative thinking and the process, because more of the same will not create the sustainable solutions we need. The development and productive use of knowledge is therefore becoming the key process of value creation for the organizations as well as for the societies. In today's knowledge economy, these values will lead to mediocre or average results. Hence, passion, talent, creativity, freedom, and responsibility are needed for achieving excellence in any economy of the world. Dear colleagues, the emergence of growth of innovative firms is crucial for structural change towards sustainable development. Research points out that the countries where SMEs associated with entrepreneurship are more innovative and are placed in the top of the rankings for sustainable development, where countries with weaker performance in terms of innovative entrepreneurship have lower scores of sustainable development. Therefore, sustainable development needs supporting innovative initiatives in business sectors, work as engines for change in the new development paradigm to address both present and future challenges. Dear participants, in conclusion, we can say that entrepreneurs, innovation, and entrepreneurship will be of increasing importance given the current and future challenges facing global development. These include persistent global inequalities, growing vulnerability of the countries to external shocks, including financial crisis, natural disasters, and the threats of climate change. To meet these challenges, innovative entrepreneurship is indispensable. In the light of these challenges, the very concept entrepreneurship needs to be broadened. In particular, we have to recognize the growing roles for social entrepreneurship, public entrepreneurship, institutional entrepreneurship, and even non-state sovereign entrepreneurship for the sustainable economic development of any developing country of the world. Thank you very much for your kind attention, and I hope the conference will be a great success. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Nazrul Islam, for your very delightful
Thank you,
address.
sir. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I think it's Professor Avasthi to be there. Is he there?
Yes.
Sir, namaskar. You have to unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
I now express my hearty welcome to our honorable keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Dinesh Avasthi. Professor Avasthi, an economist by training, is the Vice Chancellor of LJ University, Ahmedabad, Gujarat. He served as Professor of Strategic Management and Entrepreneurship at the Indian Institute of Management, Lucknow, and editor of Anvizag Journal at the Sardar Patel Institute of Economic and Social Research, Ahmedabad. He has also served as Professor and Director of Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, EDI, Ahmedabad, between 2003 to 2015. Professor Avasthi has over 60 research papers and 8 books, 31 research reports on SMEs and technology entrepreneurship to his credit. He has chaired and has been member of a number of committees set up by the Government of India, the Government of Gujarat, and several other non-profits. Professor Avasthi has also worked as a consultant to several UN agencies like ILO, UNIDO, UNDP, and other multilateral bodies like the Ford Foundation, W.S. Atkins, DFID UK. He has extensively traveled across the globe in connection with various professional assignments. I now have the immense pleasure to invite our honorable speaker, Professor Dr. Dinesh Avasthi, to deliver the keynote address.
Good morning, everybody. Esteemed Dr. R. Ganeshan, my old friend.
I'm your student, sir, not your friend.
No. And with whom I have very pleasant memories, discussions, and learned quite a bit, got enlightened on the theme he was working on those days. My colleagues, keynote speakers, Dr. Nazrul Islam from Bangladesh, Dr. Vandana Gupta from Chitkara Design School, Dr. Meryl, I think is not there, conference director, Mrs. Ramya, and conference convener, Dr. Rajeshwari, colleagues in the journey of learning about entrepreneurship, other participants. At the outset, let me thank you all for a very rich introduction, which I hardly deserved. Today, I'm going to start or talk about something which I thought might interest this audience, is about the entire gamut of research, past, present, and future. From where did we start, where we are today, and what is the future of research in entrepreneurship area? So it will be a broad sweep. It is not a bibliometric analysis which I am going to present. It's just a kind of experience which taught me what, and I have seen and witnessed. That is what I am going to share with you, my own experiences in research. Way back in 18th century, if we recall Richard Cantillon. He was the guy who first time talked about entrepreneurship, and he said that entrepreneurs are the guys who take risks, who organize production, factor of production, and so on and so forth. And from there on, we started talking about entrepreneurship. But let me tell you, this field did not get any legitimacy for a pretty long time. It was part of journals with sociology or political science or management. We didn't have any journal of any journal related to entrepreneurship. But now, during the last 30 years or so, today we have about 23 journals exclusively devoted to entrepreneurship. And in all 50 journals, including management journals, sociology, and all those things, we have 50 journals who frequently publish on entrepreneurship, including the Journal of Entrepreneurship being published by EDI. So this journey from getting legitimacy and back to Cantillon, this has been a period of about 200 years, close to 200 years, where we have traveled, and it is very difficult really to sum up a journey of 200 years in 10 minutes. So after Ricardo, Richard Cantillon, Ricardo also had some reference about entrepreneurship, but they were passing references. But Richard Cantillon was the first who really made the point about entrepreneurship. Then came J.B. Say, again, a classical economist, who told that entrepreneurs are the people who organize factors of production. And after paying rent, wages, and everything, or the cost of production, whatever is left is the part which is known as profit, which goes to entrepreneur. So all organization, management, labor, raw material, land, everything is paid. Rent is paid to land, wages are paid to labor, salary is paid to managers. So all sort of things are paid, and what is residual is what entrepreneur gets, and for which he takes risk, which was further taken forward by Knight, who talked about entrepreneur as a risk taker. Then come three persons, very, very important people. What is how entrepreneurship emerges was Max Weber. No, Max Weber was a sociologist primarily, and he didn't talk directly about entrepreneurship, but he talks about the emergence of capitalism. And then he talks about Protestant ethics. He argued that religions, he was talking of Christianity, it talks about renunciation and give up everything in life, simplicity of life. But more important is hard work and earning money. So if you do hard work, if you devote yourself, you contribute socially, you contribute significantly to your well-being and your own well-being. So that is the part of Protestant ethics, ethics of hard work. So that is where Maxwell comes with his theory of Protestant ethics as a factor which leads to the emergence of entrepreneurship. Followed closely by then you have Maitland. He talks of achieving societies and talks of the people who have high need for achievement, NAC. They take things forward, and they're the people who become entrepreneurs. Closely, I mean, about a bit earlier than was Schumpeter, which was referred by Dr. Islam. He talked about entrepreneur as an innovator. We talked 5 types of innovations, which Dr. Islam referred to: process, product, process, raw material, organization, and those kind of things. So he said that entrepreneur is basically an innovator, and he made a distinction between innovator and inventor. He says inventor is not necessary. He creates a kind of idea, but not necessarily he takes it to market. While an innovator commercializes that idea. So he made a distinction between inventor and innovator. Then comes Peter Kilby, who talks about functions of entrepreneur, what entrepreneurs do, right from conceiving an idea to managing the company and earning profits. Kisner, in the meanwhile, talks about opportunity. The entrepreneur is an opportunity seeker. This is Kisner, which comes about early 70s. And then, of course, I can't forget my own mentor, Professor Dujen Tripathi, who introduces his history in entrepreneurship. And he talks about business history, where he documented beautifully some of the business families, how they grew, how entrepreneurship developed in those families, and particularly some very wealthy families of substantial entrepreneurial families of Ahmedabad, Lal Bhai, Kastur Bhai group. So he documented that, and that brought history part in entrepreneurship first time. Before that, we were not talking about that. And if you took all these things, what you will find is that either people talk about who is entrepreneur, number 2, what he does, number 3, how he does, number 4, what are the implications of his doing, what is the outcome, what is the contribution of entrepreneurs. And then some people talk about policies, that what kind of policies are there by government to promote entrepreneurship. So these are some of the themes, broad themes, under which research has been going on, at least till the early or late 20th century. genre of entrepreneurship also emerged somewhere about between, I think, 94, 95. So that time we were struggling with this. Who is entrepreneur? How you define entrepreneurship? From there, I think a lot of water has flown down the river. The next set which came, they started talking about how entrepreneurs manage their enterprises, how they manage growth, why enterprises decay, and why enterprises go. They started talking about life cycle of a firm. Like life cycle, firm grows, gets stagnated and decays, and some firms don't decay, but they innovate and again take a upturn. So how entrepreneurs behave, what is their strategy? So we entered into the realm of strategy. But by and large, they were confined to SMEs. Subsequently, little later, we started talking of large systems. That is entrepreneurship in corporates. And we started talking about corporate entrepreneurship. And before, as a precursor, we started talking about intrapreneur. A person who behaves entrepreneurially within an organization is not his organization. So we talked about entrepreneur, and from there we moved to corporate entrepreneurship. That's how corporate works. Because initially, corporate were not the part of entrepreneurship research. They were out. Because we thought that corporates have different kind of strategies, different kind of organizational structure, where entrepreneur, who is entrepreneur is difficult to decide. The shareholders are there, stakeholders are there, and if you get higher shares, you could become controller. So controller and entrepreneur, they are two different things. So we kept them away, but later on we started studying corporate entrepreneurship as well. And then it followed a lot of varieties of entrepreneurship categories like rural entrepreneurship, urban entrepreneurship. Then we had family entrepreneurship. All those things, I mean, cooperative entrepreneurs, institutional entrepreneurs, educational entrepreneurs. So depending upon the area, we started defining or giving label of entrepreneurship. I'm not sure how far it is justified and valid. But then things have started moving in this direction, that we have fragmented all those areas, and depending upon the subject area, what an entrepreneur does is titled as ex-entrepreneur. Entrepreneur becoming an environmental entrepreneur. Somebody who is in education is education entrepreneur. So all those kind of tags started being given, but I'm not very sure whether that is the right way, because to me, entrepreneur is entrepreneur. Then the neglected area of women entrepreneurs. Dr. Ganeshan is one of those, the first front runners in that area. You know, we started talking about women entrepreneurs, and now the trend which has just started is talking about startups. So there's a very, very different category of entrepreneurs. Those who have a bright idea, who have technology, don't have money to back up, don't have resources, don't have assets, but they launch by bootstrapping, they launch their enterprises, very small enterprises. And within no time, they become $1 billion evaluation. What you call in today's parlance, unicorns. Now, this country, India, out of about 600, 800 unicorns all over the world, India has, it had at least 6 months back, it has 105 unicorns. Now they have come down somehow, some have been delisted, and about 2 2-3 months back, there were 86 unicorns, but they have added 4 or 5. So let us say roughly 95 unicorns are there. Unicorns are the enterprises which market valuation is about $1 billion. And this evaluation comes within, let us say, 2 to 3 years of their startup. Normally, the conventional entrepreneurs took life to reach $1 billion valuation. There would be hardly, in old timers, there will be hardly 200 families who, or by 200, I can tell you about 130 billionaires are there in this country who started enterprises that became billionaires, but then the startups who start with nothing, they become $1 billion evaluation within 2 to 3 years. And other amazing thing is none of them is a profitable business. It's just the valuation. Now, this is a lot of things which needs to be studied. Who are they? How do they conceive ideas? How do they generate funding? It is bootstrapping, it is crowdfunding, it is investor funding. So because investors are playing very key role. So what is the role of investors in creating entrepreneurs? Or because earlier, when you talk of, whenever you talked of funding, you talked of banks or sometimes shareholders. Now you have investors. They give a lot of money with virtually as an equity, not as a loan. And this equity, I don't know how they are evaluating it, because most of the time equity is given, but firms are in loss, be it Ola, be it Uber, be it Swiggy, be it Zomato, whatever you talk, all of them are running in losses. But they have $1 billion, now $4 or $5 billion, this EduTech, they have $16 billion assessments. So now the future of research, I think, must focus on startup entrepreneurs, how they're functioning, what is the total dynamics, how quickly they capture market, what attracts people to invest in them, how investments are made, how those projects are assessed or evaluated. Those are things, one thing. Second area which research in future, which I see, is a role of disruptive technologies in creating entrepreneurs. Now, the disruption which takes place, what is disruptive technologies? Which altogether throw out old technology and replace it by something very new. Again, I'm reminded of this Schumpeter's creative destruction. He talked about creative destruction when you destroy something, but you create something new to replace it. So this destructive technologies, you talk of Chat GPT. And Chat GPT is an app where it can write essays for you. You instruct that you want Rabindranath Tagore's poem to be written. It will compose poem exactly in the format of Tagore. You have robotics process automation, where robots make programs for you. Robots make programs for robots. You have 3D technology, where entire house is built by 3D printer without use of this thing. You have autonomous vehicles with need no drivers. Now, you have humanoids. Now, all this thing, where it is going to lead, what kind of entrepreneurship will emerge, and what will be the role of entrepreneurship now. It will be very, very interesting to meet that challenge, where if these technologies come, first thing is they will replace usual work and they will demand high skills. Unlike industrial revolution, first, second, and third, this fourth industrial revolution and beyond. is very, very different. So how entrepreneurship is going to behave in this era of disruptive technologies, because now the future of entrepreneurship lies in technology, technology, and technology. If you don't have technology, you are out of the market. Even you talk of those companies or banks, you talk of HDFC or any other bank, they have started using robots and started throwing away their manpower. You have robots, which will be your receptionist on the bank, in the hotel. So all those business models, the sharing economy, the gig economy. Now, these are the areas I think where we need to do serious research, that how gig economy operates, how are the gig entrepreneurs, how sharing economy operates, who are the players in sharing economy, what is their business model. So those are the things I think which is the future. So right from Richard Cantillon to prisoner kind of thing of Peter Kilby or Max Weber to Professor Dujendra Party, and now the startup ecosystem and the unicorns and the high-tech disruptive technologies and giving birth of entirely different generation. This generation has no experience of business. This generation has no idea how to organize or manage a firm, but they become billionaires overnight. About 800 all over the world, about 100 in this country. So this is what is the future of research. So this is what is the very broad sweep I have tried to present, but this is what I thought might interest you, that where we are going in research area and what needs to be focused now. Then who is entrepreneur? Now we have to redefine who is entrepreneur. With these words, I think I'll conclude my address. Thank you very much once again, the organizers, and especially Dr. Ganeshan, who was very kind to have invited me to address this August gathering. I'm indeed very grateful to all of you for giving a patient hearing to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It's my privilege to introduce our distinguished keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Vandana Gupta. Welcome. Dr. Vandana Gupta is an academician and craft enthusiast. She has completed her PhD in textile and apparel design from Haryana Agricultural University, Hisar, Haryana. She has been associated with reputed universities, institutions, and research organizations in and around Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, and Gujarat, has hidden fashion and design departments. She has several research papers, review papers, and book chapter publications in the area of sustainability, smart textiles, natural dyes, antibacterial and UV protective finishes, museums, textile design in the national and international journals. Her professional goal is to provide quality education to students and contribute in sensitizing the younger generation about the unique and exclusive art and craft of India, along with instilling discipline, integrity, and honesty. In commemorating her contributions, she has been bestowed with the Young Educator and Scholar Award on 5th September 2020 from National Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development, Coimbatore. Currently, she is working as professor and deputy registrar at Chitkara Design School under Chitkara University, Punjab. I now invite a distinguished speaker, Professor Dr. Vandana Gupta, to deliver the keynote address.
Good morning to one and all present here. It is my privilege and honor to be part of this important conference, which is on research in innovation and challenges. First of all, I would like to thank the conference chair and chief patron, ICRIC 2023, Professor R. Ganeshan sir, for inviting me for this conference and providing me this opportunity to share my views and insights on this topic. I would also like to thank conference director, Mrs. Ramya Kantiwal ma'am, for this introduction. And going ahead, I would like to talk about the opportunities and challenges in research innovations in India ecosystem. So apart from this, I want to also like to share my gratitude for providing me this opportunity to give me this platform, to share this platform with eminent personalities like Dr. Nazrul Islam, Pro Vice Chancellor and Professor and Dean, Bangladesh, and Professor Dr. Dinesh N. Avasthi, Vice Chancellor, LJ University, Gujarat. And I do agree with the thoughts which we shared by the Dr. Dinesh Avasthi sir regarding the entrepreneurship, because I do believe that if we talk about the current scenario, the startups are the buzzword in this century, and there are so many startups which are there in the research innovation centers which are taking place and which are providing different types of products and opportunities in different ways. Apart from this, when we talk about research and innovation, the immersion of the technology in the form of robots are also there, which I will be talking in my slides. So Ramya ma'am, I would like to share my screen. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am. You could change it to full screen actually.
Ma'am, I'll try. If I won't be able to, then I will continue with this.
Sure. Continue, please.
Ji. So, ma'am, is it full screen now?
No, ma'am, it's not.
So, ma'am, I'll continue with this
Yes,
only.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, the topic for today's conference is opportunities and challenges in research innovation ecosystem in India. I would be sharing few key points. I will be discussing about few key points related to this conference, which is progress over the last 5 years in terms of enhancing India's progress over the last 5 years in terms of enhancing its performance with respect to competitiveness, innovation, and intellectual property. Another point which we are going to discuss in this presentation is contribution by the government in transforming the research and innovation landscape. Third is the challenges faced by the leading research institutions in India in terms of innovations and entrepreneurship. Lastly, we are going to discuss about orientation required in the coming years to enhance the competitiveness, innovation, and intellectual property ranking of India. So as we all know that technology, research, and innovation are emerging words for competitive advantage of nations and companies globally. The global socio-economic landscape is undergoing a significant transition due to rapid advancement and high penetration of internet and communication technologies. Also, this digitization has impacted all sorts of social and economic activities at country, organizational, and individual levels. If we talk about globally, countries are trying to enhance their innovation capacity in order to attract more and more investments, with the help of which we are seeing many new startups which are coming up every day with disruptive business models and innovative products and services. So when we talk about this research innovation, earlier it was only confined to developed economies like USA and European countries. But now in last few decades, the developing countries or economies like India and China are making considerable efforts to enhance their research innovation capabilities at par with the developed economies. Now, when we talk about developed economies, they are making a sincere effort in attracting and motivating indigenous talent to contribute and to enhance the research innovation capacity rather than migrating to developed countries. We must be knowing that these talent, which the India have talent in research and innovation, the researchers, they move to different countries or they migrate to other countries in search of better opportunities. So to understand the increasing role of middle income economies, especially in Asian countries, let's evaluate its performance on different global ranking during the last few years. So if we look at the Global Innovation Index 2022, as discussed by Dr. Dinesh sir, that there are number of startups, and entrepreneurship has been encouraged a lot from in last 2 decades or last many decades. So the innovation was part of that startups and entrepreneurship, and we can see that the Global Innovation Index 2022, the India have a very positive ranking, where we can see in 2015 the ranking was 81, and we have bagged to 40 as the 40th country or economy in this ranking. And if we talk about the top 10 countries which have bagged this Global Innovation Index 2022 are Switzerland, United States, Sweden, the United Kingdom, Netherlands, and others. So in this aspect, we can say that yes, India is growing in terms of research, development, and innovation. And if we say state-wise, in India, the Karnataka has bagged the top rank in Niti Ayog's India Innovation Index 2022, followed by other states like Telangana, Haryana, Maharashtra. So all these innovative achievements are because of the government initiatives, society involvements, and of course the universities which are publishing scientific publications. There are productivity growth, increasing export of services related to digital technologies. Apart from this, we can also see that growing research and development investments are there. Like if we say the budget in 2022-23, the Ministry of Science Technology has allotted rupees 14,217 crore to different departments for research and development. And emergence of world's top science and technology clusters are also part of this initiatives. There are other initiatives which boost the sense of or the motivation for innovation and entrepreneurship. We can see PRISM, which is promoting innovations in individuals, startups, and MSME. Then USIAI, that is US India Artificial Intelligence Initiatives, where the artificial intelligence can be incorporated in different types of business, and the development in the sense of wherever the corporates require a better manufacturing or better production, such type of technology can be added to the company. Then we have Ekam Fest. Such kind of fest are also organized by the government in the form of providing opportunity to PWDs, providing major marketing opportunities for such entrepreneurs. Then there are technological interventions for disabled and elderly. And another initiative which we can see is strengthening, upscaling, and nurturing local innovations for livelihood programs. So all these innovations, all these initiatives, rather I would say, have provided us this Global Innovative Index. Now, when we say Global Innovative Index, this index also is a result of patent which we have filed in last few years. And when we see, according to World Intellectual Property Organization, the number of patents which are being filed by countries like China, USA, Japan, Korea in 2020 were in lakhs. Whereas the patents which are filed by India is in 1,000, that is 28,391. So when we are saying that we are at 40th position and the other countries are at first or second position, this is where we need to focus that yes, we need to focus more on what kind of work we are publishing. As Ganeshan sir also shared that whatever we are putting into the in the form of documents, it is being read and revised by other people, or it is being used for further researches. So we need to make sure that whatever we are doing, it should be of quality, and a better patenting can be done for our country or by any country in the form of research and innovations. So when we talk about the why we are lacking in research, innovation, and of course the patenting thing, there are different factors which can be shared, which need to be tackled. In fact, one is the low expenditure on research and development. If we compare the percentage of budget which is being provided to the in India for research and development with other countries, the budget is very less. Second is the procedural delays and complexity of the process. The filing of the patent is itself a very complex process, which again makes us delay in making the patents published or file the patent. Then it is a tedious process leading to lead time, cost, and efforts. Now we need to understand, when we talk about patent filing, when a researcher researches something and wants to file a patent, the approval or the award which we need to get after filing the patent, the time for that delays, and the technology which we have developed, it becomes, because the technology is growing so fast that after 1 or 2 years, the technology that is being patented seems to be of an old technology, looks like to be an old technology. Then another important point is risk of competitive replication and substitution. When the patenting is being done, or a researcher or innovate something, the process might lead to replication or substitution as well. That risk is also there. Then migration of India's talent, as I have shared in the previous slide, that many of the researchers, they good talent, they move to other countries, and the research and innovation data reduces as per the migration. So the real value addition will happen when researcher and corporate will find the incentive to collaborate. This migration can be reduced if the researchers and corporate can collaborate and find the incentive to collaborate and commercialize the indigenous research into a sustainable business model. So that collaboration is happening, but it is in infancy stage, and we need to make more effort to collaborate between the researchers and corporates. Then when we talk about research sector in India, it faces some other issues as well. This was about the government initiatives and how the patenting is difficult. Now, if we talk about in the area of researchers or academicians or scientists, when they work, there are so many things which need to be taken care of, like there is lack of knowledge, inadequate private investment, scientific temper is lacking, absence of integrated approach towards research and development. So let me talk about lack of knowledge. When we talk about lack of knowledge, the research labs are not at par with global standards. If we talk about Indian universities or Indian organizations, research organizations, there are labs where we do not find that much standard I would say research labs. Learning and skill building opportunities are not readily available as when new technologies are introduced globally. India is moving forward, and we are taking care of new technologies. We are learning it, but then also the pace is little slow, and the technologies are not available readily for learning. Research options on latest breakthrough technologies are also not readily available in the premier research institute in India. This has led to a persistent challenge regarding the lack of availability of talent pool. Like Dr. Dinesh sir, Avasthi sir said that the new technologies like automation is coming into the market, and people are using it, the industries are using it, but and they are replacing the humans. But if I talk about digitization, digitization is there in every company, every industry, and everywhere. For that digitization, we need to skill up our human potential so that they can be part of different kind of startups, entrepreneurs, and they can also innovate. They can think of new things which is beneficial for society. So the knowledge need to be developed, it need to be in line with the technology, and we need to prepare or develop the humans in the form of skilled human power. Another important thing is inadequate private investments. If we talk about private sector needs to pick up pace in research and development, taking the evidence from countries like South Korea, USA, and Germany, where the presence of private players is quite evident. Public expenditure is productive up to some extent. One of the growth follows a trajectory. It is desirable to shift to research and development, mostly driven by the private sector. Therefore, it is important for India to find that inflex point after which private sector takes over the government sector. Another is the integrated approach toward research and development. One of the important objective of this research, this conference, is multidisciplinary approach. We can see that researches are being conducted, and any kind of research cannot be conducted in isolation. And in today's era where everything is connected, the research should be integrated. It should be multidisciplinary. So showing you these pictures, I want to share some insight about cotton textiles. Suppose if we talk about cotton textile, a designer wants to work on a cotton garment, wants to prepare a cotton garments. What they have to do is they have to have an integrated research team where there should be an agriculturalist who can tell what kind of soil, what kind of environment is required to prepare an organic cotton or a sustainable cotton. Then there should be a person who can talk about the designing part where the minimum wastage can be done and the sustainable approach can be there in the terms of production of the cotton textile or cotton garment. So another thing, that such cotton textiles are used in medical industry a lot, in hospitality industry, medical industry. So the medical industry should also be incorporated wherever such products are being made for medical industry, so that they can understand that the raw material which is being produced is sustainable or not. So integrated approach.
Kindly excuse me, Dr. Vandana, your slide is not moving actually.
Don't tell me, ma'am, I have finished my presentation actually.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so sad. Ma'am, now also it is not moving.
Yeah, now it is in the, I think, 15th slide. That cotton, we can see the cotton picture.
Yeah, this is so sad, ma'am. I have, it is okay. Chaliye, theek hai. So we were talking about integrated approach towards research and development. So when we talk about, I was saying that to develop a garment also, we have to take a holistic approach where we need to collaborate with other companies, other different research associations to provide a sustainable product to the market, right? Last but not the least, I would like to talk about scientific temper. In the starting, Ganeshan sir shared few important terms and words which were related to research, how we need to think about research and how we need to do the research. They were like, we should be, the researcher should be a dedicated person. He or she should have devotion towards the work. I would like to add a word to it, which is the scientific temper or ethical research. So when we talk about scientific temper, this scientific temper is required. It was coined by Jawaharlal Nehru. This word was coined by Jawaharlal Nehru, sir. And it includes attitude of logical and rational thinking. We need to understand when the research is being done, it should be in holistic research. A holistic point of view should be taken, and the society, any research is done for the benefit of the society. So in every way, the society should be benefited. Right. So when we talk about the ethical part of the research, we need to understand that whatever product is being made, it is cost effective. As Ganeshan sir said, it should have ergonomic aspects to it. It should be holistic development as whole. Apart from this, it should not affect anybody's emotions or any kind of cultural thought processes. I would like to share one small example when it comes to ethical research, which researchers nowadays should also take care into consideration. There is one example that the soap dispenser was prepared by a company and the soap dispenser, when a white person, a person with a white skin put forward his hand to take the soap, he is able to take the soap, the dispenser dispenses the soap. But when a person with a black color skin put forward the hand to take the soap to wash his hands, he is unable to take out the soap from the dispenser. So what happens? This is where the ethical research comes in, that you have to take care of society as a whole, that whatever product or whatever research or innovation is being done, it is for everybody in this society and should not affect anybody's emotions or anyone's feelings in any form. Apart from this, when we talk about scientific temper, nowadays, because I am from a fashion and textile field, I would like to put forward one more example, talking about the scientific temper, that we need to understand that whatever we are innovating, is it actually required by the society or not? Like we were talking about fast fashion in last few years, and now we are talking about slow fashion. So slow fashion is there and fast fashion is also existing. So what do we want? Do we want fast fashion? Do we want slow fashion? Are we actually moving towards the right direction? Is it the sustainable approach? We are, as Dinesh sir also said, that we are having so many startups. Do we need all these startups? So as an innovators, as a researchers, we need to understand that what is required, and accordingly we need to work on the researches. And in the end, I would like to say that despite of the positive growth, India still needs to make significant enhancements in its innovation and research and development ecosystem to come at par with research and development leaders like USA, UK, etc. There are few points which needs to be taken into consideration, like increasing the research contribution in global publication, but that should be more of a quality publications, motivating more and more young graduates in taking up research as a career option. Then enhancing the filing and registration of global patents. There are many researches which are not being filed. There are many innovations which are not being filed. So we should motivate that also. And more spending on research and development should be there. So with this note, I would like to thank once again NFED for providing me this opportunity. And I hope the key points and the information shared will be helpful to the speakers as a whole. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vandana, about this extensive presentation about the research and development and the ethics and everything. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, ma'am.
And I heartily thank all the national and international keynote speakers for their venerated presence in this international conference. So thank you so much, everyone.